Hey guys, it's me. Okay, so this is gonna be one of the videos that I had spoke with y'all about a few times. First time I'm actually getting around to do it. I've kind of slacked on my cleaning, and so it's kind of been a little bit too messy to really do the video. So, like I said before, I had attempted to start my own furniture business, which kind of fell through. I ended up with a bunch of stuff for clients and they didn't have the money, and I ended up kind of stuck with the furniture. But then when I bought the house, it worked out pretty great because then I didn't have to buy furniture. So I'm going to be showing y'all some of those things that I built, and then some other things that I've done, for my wife. A crib that was once a crib that I built for my son when we had him, that's no longer a crib. If I can ever figure out how to insert a picture into a video, I will insert the old photo from when it was a crib into this video. So I'll go ahead, I'll start in the sunroom, which is actually kind of where we've just been putting stuff since we don't use it a whole lot. So give me just a second. Alright, so this right here, I actually built this for my wife. I can't remember, I think it was for Christmas. It's an easel made from 1x4s and 2x2s. So there's that. My wife likes to collect green glass, and I had a client that wanted me to build them a Christmas tree shelf for Christmas instead of having a actual Christmas tree. So I built this, never really heard back from them. So this is in the sunroom. This is where all of the green glass goes. Other than that, we do have, I've got this. This was actually my great grandmother's, I believe. It was in pretty rough shape. It was in the barn. I actually cleaned it up a little bit, made some alterations to it. So these I ended up repainting the top because it didn't have any paint. All it had was the green chipped part. I painted over it white, sanded it, and then put a poly over it. And then I did brace these. Basically kind of cut these almost into a 2x2, but not quite. It's some old rough cut pine. I painted those white. Or I painted them red and then white to kind of match the tint of this wood, and then sanded it and polyed it. So this is a very old piece that I kind of redid for my grandparents, and they actually wanted me to keep it. So that's pretty much everything for the sunroom. Then we'll get into the kitchen. In the kitchen, I'll show you, I redid two of these bar stools. The tops on them were in pretty rough shape, so I took that old pine and cut a couple seats for them. I burned them to give it this look. Painted the rest of the stool black, and then put a coat of poly on it. It's a little bit dirty, but I've got two of those that I did. So here's the other one. As far as the countertops, okay, so this is the color that the countertops were. I've still got to do this countertop, and the walls were a lime green color. So we repainted the kitchen. I couldn't stand this green laminate. The rest of the countertops actually had a red and white tile apron that went around it. So basically I had to tear all that off. It did have a pressboard bevel that I had to cut, and then I got some of this old barnwood, cut it into strips, and then painted the countertops a gray, taped off the barnwood, caulked it, screwed it in, and put poly over everything. It turned out pretty good. I wish I would have put a second coat of poly. One of these days when I get around to it, I will end up going over it again with a second coat. But as you can see, I did it with all the countertops in the kitchen, as well as in my son's bathroom, and as well as our bathroom. Let me move some stuff. This was actually a nice piece of pine that I found. I had this coffee table from 2 houses ago that I had. So I burnt the sides on it. May have to turn a light on in here so you can actually see it. I burnt the sides on it just to kind of give it a little bit of a different look. Still may be difficult to see. Well, then I got this old piece of pine, and I used a stain and a poly on it, and it turned out pretty good, just kind of to accent this this table. Other than that, I did do pallet wood along the underside of the bar. Other than that, I do have this really nice piece of walnut that I used to make a shelf for the entryway. So there's the front door. As soon as you walk in, this has got some antique stuff on it, but it's got a live edge walnut. Still got the bark. I polyed it, got it sanded up real good. This piece I actually acquired at the last house I was at and restored it. It was all in about 5 or 6 pieces. So I got it put back together, painted it with a couple different shades of red and white, and then sanded it and put a clear coat on it. The coffee table, this was one that I built for a client. Turned out they didn't actually have the money to get it, so I ended up keeping it. So this has got 2x4s, 2x6s, and then this old oak, rough cut oak. It's actually a really nice wood. So I ended up keeping that and using that as our actual coffee table. I built a whole bunch of these for Christmas presents for family. Basically just some 2x2s cut up, you know, use some hemp string and some paper clips, or clothesline clips. The next thing, I've got a couple of these around the house. If I can get this to focus, there we go. I just cut the bottom off of a pallet. I like to collect old bottles. Let me adjust the light in here. There we go. I like to collect old bottles. I burnt the pallet with a torch to give it that look. I've got all the old bottles in there. In my son's room, I've got this sign made out of pallet wood that I made for his room. We actually even used it for the baby shower. And then of course there's another one of those bottom of the pallet. These, we used these for the baby shower, kept them, and used them in the room. Just some mountains to go with the theme for his room. Then for his bathroom, I also did the counters in here. So, did a old oak shelf to kind of match it. And then, unfortunately, this next room is, we only use 2 rooms, our master bedroom and Benson's room. So this room is kind of where we've been putting laundry. So this is a vanity I built for my wife. With those lights work. She wanted a makeup vanity, and so I built this for her. She actually, at the house that she lived in, had a mirror, and we were able to put that behind it. And I got some lights that I actually found at the thrift store. I got this chair from my grandparents and accented it to match. And then for her nail polish, I built a little shelf to kind of match it. And this was actually my great-grandfather's shaving shelf. This is where he would put all of his shaving cream and razors. And I refinished it, and my grandparents wanted me to have it. This is a really cool piece. This was actually, I knew a guy that his family, their house had once been the jail and the post office for where they lived, and this piece was in that house, and he let me get it off of him. So I didn't really do much other than put a clear coat on it because I wanted to preserve the look of it. But it's a really cool piece with some cool history. This was a little sign that I built. We were gonna put Benson's name on it. At one point in time, we thought about doing tie-dye theme for his room. The crib that I built was kind of like this. I went with several different colors to kind of give it a rainbow theme. Went over it with white and then sanded it so it would change colors. And the crib that I had built did the exact same thing. So we'll get to that. So the crib actually turned into this. Let me move this. So my wife started back school, and she was using her makeup vanity for the computer and to do her schoolwork on, and it made it difficult for her. She had so much stuff already accumulated on her makeup vanity and didn't really have the room to do her schoolwork. So I turned the crib into this, so she's able to have the printer, have her notebooks, everything that she needs right there. These are the nightstands that I built for a customer, and I never did hear back from them. So let me get on this side so you can get a better view of it. And I will let you see the back of them too. Really cool piece. Honestly, I'm pretty happy that I got to keep them because they definitely get used. This is kind of where all of my junk that's in my pockets ends up every night. And then this headboard was mine from when I was in high school. It was just kind of a light colored wood. Kind of painted it to match the nightstands. And then in the bathroom, I went with the pallet wood under the bathtub, redid the counters, got the old barn wood, and then another old barn wood shelf, as well as another one right here. So like I said, I will try to figure out how to put photos into the video. If I'm not able to get it, and you watch this video, if you could enlighten me on how to do that, because there's been a couple videos thus far that I've not known how to do that when it would have benefited me if I did. But anyways, that's I think that's everything that I built. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting something, but if y'all don't mind, like and subscribe, and thank y'all for watching.